What's going on, everybody? I am back today with another review of a product that is a little strange to review because it's something that's not amazing at anything, but it's good enough at a lot of things to get a recommendation from me. It's a strange helmet with a strange name. It's Bolle's The One Premium. Let's do it. So just what exactly the hell is Bolle's The One Premium? Well, it's a bicycle helmet, obviously, but it has an aerodynamic mode. It has removable covers to make it a ventilated helmet. It has a peak for people who want to mountain bike in it, I guess. It even has a winter skull cap that you can replace the padding with for cold weather. And it even comes with a little flashing light that you can replace the Bolle logo in the back with to make it extra safe. Potentially then, it's a helmet with many talents and many uses. So let's talk about the strengths and weaknesses of Bolle's The One Premium. The first is weight, and with no aero covers on, it's a pretty respectable 260 grams. With the aero covers, it's a little bit hefty at 330. Not only that, the weight is distributed further forward than you'll find with a standard helmet. There's just more plastic further forward because of the covers. If you add in the winter skull cap and the light and the peak and have the covers on, it'll run up a fairly hefty 390 grams. But I'm not sure why you do that, it's just a hypothetical. So weight is sort of okay. Now, another thing that's just okay is the fit and comfort. It wasn't amazing, it wasn't terrible, I kind of ended up just fairly ambivalent towards the comfort. It is fairly thickly padded at the front, which is nice. It feels good against your forehead. At the back, there is very little padding at all. The top and the rear of the shell has no padding, and there's just a little bit of padding on the rear cradle. The straps aren't particularly amazing either. They run all the way from the shell through the clasp and are adjusted with just sort of sliding up and down. And finally, the cradle system at the back doesn't have much adjustment. There's only really two positions that you switch by pressing in a plastic stud. There's only about 10 mils of adjustment in total. So the One Premium, comfort is okay, but you don't have a lot of adjustment options in there. There's certainly more comfortable helmets around. So let's talk ventilation, and in full aero mode with the covers on, it is pretty much what you'd expect. The sunglasses garage move a decent amount of air through the helmet if you're moving at speed. And I find it quite comfortable, sort of up to temperatures of around 30 degrees Celsius, as long as you keep moving at a decent pace. If the temperature goes higher or your speed goes lower, like if you're doing a long steep climb, you're gonna get very, very hot and sweaty. Ventilation with the covers removed is only okay as well. The frontal area of the vents is limited by the fact that the covers need to go over the top of them. So there's only a limited amount of air that actually comes in. Across the top and the back, the vents actually get pretty massive. So heat does clear off the top, but it just doesn't move through particularly well. Certainly not compared to something like my all-time favorite Casque Allegro. So ventilation needs are of course very context sensitive. I live in a climate with very hot summers, so the One Premium is not the best helmet for me during probably about 2 or 3 months of the year. If you live in a cooler climate, you just don't have as many hot days as I do, then the ventilation is fine. It just depends on how much ventilation and air movement you actually need. So the next issue is aerodynamics. This is supposed to be an aero helmet, but there is no aero data about it, and that's not unusual for helmet makers. A lot of them don't publish aero data. Whether they're just not testing at all or whether they're just not releasing the numbers is a question that only they can answer. But I will say that Road.cc, when they reviewed the helmet, did do some testing with and without the covers and found that the covers on improve the aerodynamics, which is good and makes the extra sweat feel justified. How it compares to the competition, that's a mystery to me. I don't have a wind tunnel to test. So we just got to take it on faith. So let's talk now about the light, and it runs on a CR2032 battery. There are two modes, solid and a flash. And a flash that won't exactly bowl you over with its brightness. but this is meant to be a supplementary light. It's not meant to be the only light you use. So it's just a nice little added extra for if you ride a lot in the dark. So looking across everything that Bolle's The One Premium can do, its comfort is okay, its ventilation is okay, it comes with a decent range of added extras like the light skull cap and peak, and when I'm out on the road wearing it, it's not bad. Not amazing, not bad. So my advice to anyone who's looking to buy this helmet is that you need to have more than one application for it. It doesn't make sense as just an aero helmet or just a ventilated helmet, because it's not really good enough at either of those things. But if you do really want a convertible helmet that will do multiple disciplines, can be ridden in multiple scenarios, and can handle a pretty broad range of temperatures from quite warm down to really cold with the skull cap and covers on, then it's actually got a lot going for it. I know it's a bit of a lazy cliche, but it truly does feel like a jack of all trades, master of none sort of product. Now you're probably wondering what the price of this is, and it's 260 Australian dollars, and that was less than I was expecting, and I think that is actually pretty decent value when you add up everything this helmet can do. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. There's a link in the description below to the written review on La Velocito. I will see you next time.